Hi, I'm Karl Konrad, a registered migration specialist. I founded Australian Immigration Law Services 23 years ago, and the team and I provide visa services to those looking to live, work and study in Australia. Australian immigration law is complicated, and not understanding how it works can cost you your future in Australia. We are here to help you understand important requirements, give you tips on how to apply and share the latest Australian immigration news. There are many different visas available depending on what you want to do in Australia. If you want to live permanently in Australia, the three major visas are the 189 visa, the 190 visa and the 491 visa. These visas do not require you to get a job and have that employer to sponsor you, which is the preferred option for many. The 189 visa, 190 visa and 491 visas are unique in that you cannot make an application directly and must express your interest in the visa to the Australian government, then wait for them to invite you to apply. This is called an expression of interest system, dubbed the EOI. What are the differences between the visas and why would you choose to apply for one over the other? I'll be going through the similarities and the differences in requirements, what you can do on the visa, and the application processes. In this video, I will compare these visas, and hopefully by the end of it, you'll be able to understand which visa is for you. Let's start with the basics. You need to be under 45 years of age at the time you're invited to apply. You also need to have a competent level of English. You also cannot have a very significant health issue or have a serious criminal record. The earlier you submit your interest for your visa, the better, as there is a selection process and many people wait for a long time to get their invitation to apply. If you want to learn more about the processes and the importance of the time of invitation, we've got a couple of videos covering this linked in the description below. You also need to have a competent level of proficiency in English. To prove this, you will need to take an English test and meet the required scores, unless you have a passport from the USA, the UK, the Republic of Ireland, Canada or New Zealand. Then you are taken to have competent English and you will not need to take an English test. You also cannot have a very significant health issue or have a serious criminal record. These three requirements are the same for all the three visas. These three visas are skilled visas, which means they are based upon your occupation, and the occupations that are eligible for the three visas are different. If you're applying for the 189 visa, all applicants will use the same list of eligible occupations. However, if you're applying for the 190 visa or the 491 visa, then the list of eligible occupations will be different for every state or territory. You will need to visit the official website of the state or territory that you want to apply to find out if your occupation is on their list. The list of occupations available for the 189 visa is the smallest list, and the list for the 491 visa is the largest. All these occupations can change, so you always need to make sure you are using the up-to-date list. All applicants for the three visas have to get a positive skill assessment for the occupation they are nominating. The skill assessments are performed by the relevant assessing authority for your particular occupation. These assessments certify that you have the required skill set at the required skill level for immigration purposes to Australia. We've got a couple of videos on skills assessments and we'll leave a link in the description below. For all three visas, you will need to score a minimum of 65 points on a general skilled migration points test. If you're applying for the 190 visa, you get 5 additional points. If you're applying for the 491 visa, then you'll get 15 additional points to add to your score. This points test scores in a number of categories such as your age group, education qualifications, years of work experience, and so forth. We've gone through the points test in detail before, so watch that video to get some tips on how to maximize your points. The minimum point score required is the same for all three visas. But if you're applying for the 190 visa, you get 5 additional points to your score. If you're applying for the 491 visa, then you'll get 15 additional points to add to your score. If you're unable to meet the minimum point score, or if you're trying to get a higher point score to beat the competition in the candidate pool, this is a potential reason why you may choose to apply for the 190 or 491 visa over the 189 visa. The 189 visa has no additional requirements, but the 190 visa and the 491 visa do. Applicants for the state or territory visas will have to meet that area's nomination requirements. An example would be a requirement to have a better English for certain occupations. Most commonly during the pandemic, you will see a requirement that you are already living and working in that state or territory. This will change over time, whereby overseas residency will become acceptable again, but usually working in your occupation is essential. We've done videos for all the latest requirements for all the 8 states, and these videos go through the 190 visa and the 491 visa programs in detail. The link is below. All 3 visas allow you to live, work and study or do whatever you like in Australia. However, there are differences in where you can live, how long you can stay in Australia. You do not even have to work in the occupation you nominated. You can sit on the beach and relax if you can afford it for the rest of your life, or you can even choose to start a business. You'll also be able to travel in and out of Australia as many times as you wish. However, there are differences in where you can live, how long you can stay, and how long you'll be able to travel in and out of Australia before needing to apply for a further visa. In terms of the duration of the 3 visas, both the 189 visa and the 190 visa make you a permanent resident. As a permanent resident, you'll be able to stay indefinitely in Australia, but you will need to renew your rights to travel in and out of Australia every 5 years. If you stay outside of Australia too long, you may lose your permanent residency. We've got a video about that too, so check out the description below for the link. The 491 visa is unfortunately only valid for 5 years, and you'll need to fulfill the income and residency requirements for 3 or more years while holding your 491 visa before you will be eligible to apply for the 191 visa and get your permanent residency. A cool benefit to being a permanent resident is that you will get access to Medicare, the government's health system. This health coverage is usually not extended to other temporary visas, but it's a special case for the 491 visa, as a way to encourage more people to move into regional areas of Australia. With the 189 visa and the 190 visa, you are able to live anywhere in Australia. For the 491 visa, you must be residing in a designated regional area. Even though you're expected to try and settle in the state that nominated you for the 190 visa, your stay there cannot be enforced. Unfortunately for the 491 visa, you cannot live anywhere you wish, and you must be residing in a designated regional area. You do not, however, need to be living in the same regional area that sponsored you, and you can move to other designated regional areas until you are eligible for permanent residency via the 191 visa. After you're a permanent resident, you can stay anywhere you like. The application process is different for all the 3 visas. With the 189 visa, all applicants go through the same process, and there are a few steps to the visa application. In another video, we take you through the 189 visa steps by step, so watch out for that one. The 190 visa and the 491 visa applicants have more steps to go through in their application process. With the 190 visa and the 491 visa, the application process will change for you depending on which state or regional area you're applying to. We've covered all the application process for all the 8 states, and those videos will also be linked below. All 189 visa applicants are usually chosen in this same priority. The 190 visa and the 491 visa are different. You are picked by the regional area that you are applying to. All 189 visa applicants are usually chosen in this priority. First, the top scorers at any given time. Second, when scores are the same but there aren't enough visas to give out, the candidate who submitted their expression of interest first will get picked. This is why it's critical to make sure you're claiming the highest score possible for your points test, and we have a few videos on how to increase your point score. The 190 visa and the 491 visa are different. You are not picked by the immigration department, but by the regional area that you are applying to. The immigration department will process your own application only after the state has nominated you. Each state or regional area again has its own preferences. For example, New South Wales still chooses the highest scoring applicants for the 190 visa. Western Australia reserves more visas for the higher education graduates of their state. The Australian Capital Territory has the Canberra Matrix, which has its own points test and is how they choose their candidates. First of all, you'll need to see which visas you are eligible for, and this starts with which visa your occupation is eligible for. We've got a helpful list that shows you all the visas available for your occupation, which we'll leave in the link below. Next, you've got to understand which are the best chances with the options you have. For example, if you're eligible for all 3 visas but you do not have a very high point score, you are unlikely to get picked for the 189 visa. You might then want to choose to go for the 190 or 491 visa. Maybe you're a graduate of the state that has a graduate pathway. Depending on what you have studied or what level you have studied, the 190 visa or perhaps only the 491 visa will be an option for you. The options are too many to count for this video and it depends on so many factors. The 190 visa and the 491 visa are nonetheless a more reliable pathway into Australia than the 189 visa, well, at least for the time being. Did you like this video? Subscribe to get more videos like this. If you want us to help you with your plan to pathway for permanent residency, we provide Zoom, Skype and telephone consultations. Book your appointment at australiavisa.com or just pick up the phone. Come and join us over at Facebook as well to get all of our updates, such as which state has opened up for what applications and more. Thank you for watching and as always, take care out there and I'll see you next time. So bye for now.